known by many names. The name you choose to use is welcome. And so now we'll proceed to our centering meditation, I guess you would call it, visualization. So if you want to just sit quietly with your feet on the floor and gently close your eyes as we settle in for the morning. And imagine an old sturdy chest sitting in front of you, the kind built to last with a heavy latch on its lock. Reach out, lift the latch, slowly open the lid. Inside, you will see the chest is completely empty. Now picture all of your worries, desires, and frustrations, everything that weighs on your mind or pulls at your attention. One by one, place them gently into the chest. Take a moment to be sure you've left nothing behind. When you're ready, close the lid and turn away, leaving the chest behind you. And in front of you stretches a breathtaking view, the vast sea from the edge of a high cliff. Feel the fresh air, hear the sound of the waves, take in the peace of the open horizon. Now, open your eyes. You are calm, present, and free. So let's share our values together this morning. I think Eric will mute everyone, and together we can read them aloud or just follow along. Our values. We show up and act with gentle honesty and authenticity, vulnerability, caring, and trust, open and welcoming hearts, attentive listening to and respect for one another, an intention to connect with the divine, a dedication to community, a commitment to grow through spiritual practice and service. And now our opening song, one of my favorites, is I Release by Ricky Byers. Well, that was a version I hadn't heard before. That got us kind of rocking and rolling. So with this, I'd like to introduce our speaker, and then we'll go into a meditation, and Carol will lead us. But we're happy to have Reverend Carol Becker, one of our own beloved community members. And her choice of topics today sounds fascinating. It's whatever you give your attention and passion to. So I know we're going to hear some words of wisdom, but first we'll do a meditation entitled Sacred Pause. That will lead us into our talk. So go ahead and settle in, and Eric will start our meditation. So thank you. And with that, Carol, would you like to unmute yourself and take over the floor as you lead us on our discussion today? And thank you for being here and doing that for us.
I am going to talk about whatever you give your attention and passion to, and why that's important. And I'm taking some excerpts from something that you may or may not have read. It doesn't matter. I'm talking about the law of attraction. Now, the law of attraction is not new. It's been used by cultures centuries ago, different ways, different people. It's known. It's known all over. I'm using the book, excerpts from the book, as just a reminder today of a few of the things that we already know, but may have forgotten or may not be present in our mind immediately. because we already know and we've already experienced the ways of how we use our attraction and passion in our life. So the first excerpt here, whatever you're thinking about is literally like planning a future event. If you're worrying, you are planning. If you're appreciating, you're planning. What are you planning? So I'll just let you sit with that thought for a few seconds and then I'll go on to the next one. What are you planning? What are you focusing on? I love appreciating. I appreciate my toes often. I don't know why I pick toes, but I do. I appreciate my car, that it runs well. What are you appreciating? Every time you appraise something, every time you appreciate something, every time you feel good about something, you're telling the universe, more of this, please. And I love appreciating my house. I love appreciating my friends. I love appreciating special friends. I love appreciating my body. I love appreciating kindness from everyone. Kindness is so important to me. And I appreciate people being kind. But sometimes we don't always feel kind. Sometimes we have negative emotions. And so the law says anytime you feel a negative emotion, stop and say, this is something important here. Otherwise, I wouldn't be feeling this emotion. So when I'm thinking of an emotion that I don't like, I want to think, what do I want instead? And one of my favorites is, dang, I hate that car cut me off there. And I know that I have to stop and immediately change that. And I change it to, I love good drivers. And then that makes me relax. And I think, I wonder what they needed to do that for. Maybe something really important in their life was happening. And so I change my negative feeling to something that I want to feel. It's kind of a process of pivoting. So think of something you would like to pivot from, something you dislike, and you would like to feel differently about it. You can frame it differently how you see it or think about it. Just let you sit with that for a bit. And then the better you feel emotionally, the more you are allowing your alignment with Source. The worse you feel, the more you are resisting Source. When no resistance is being offered by you, your natural state of alignment resumes. And so does the alignment between your cells and the Source. And by the way, I happen to think our cells have an intelligence. They certainly communicate with other parts of my body, so they have to be intelligent. Uh, the cells in my gut may tell my brain that I'm hungry and my brain then makes me hungry, gives me hungry feelings. I may feel a pain in my knee. And so the knee cells are telling my brain, there's a pain in your knee. You might want to do something about it or not. Actually, you can choose to feel the pain or choose not to feel the pain. The more good feeling thoughts you focus on, the more you allow the cells of your body to thrive. The more good feelings you focus on, the more you allow the cells of your body to thrive. You will notice a marked improvement in clarity, agility, stamina, and vigor, for you are literally breathing your way into well-being. Breathing your way into well-being until chronic feelings of appreciation, feelings of love, feeling of eagerness, and feelings of joy will confirm you have released all existence and are now allowing well-being. Good thoughts, allowing well-being, allowing the cells of your body to thrive. If your desire is strong enough, it doesn't matter what your beliefs are. If you have a desire that's strong enough, that desire will be the dominant vibration and it will override any other vibration you have. So if you have a belief that you think is strong, but you have a desire that's stronger than that, that desire will override the belief. I'm not sure how to use that one. But you might have a belief you don't want to have anymore, and you can create a desire to have a belief to replace it. That would be one way. The universe does not know whether the vibration you're offering is because of something you're observing, something you're remembering, or something you're imagining. It just receives the vibration and answers it with things that match it. And I think it's not just the observing, it's also the feelings that go with the observing, because I think that's the power, the energy that gives our thoughts and observations energy, vibration, energy. And sometimes you're giving too much power to others as you acknowledge how they make you feel. What you've got to decide now is how you're going to feel. You could go into a virtual reality in your mind and imagine, practice feeling good, and manifestations come on the heels of whatever you're conjuring in thought. And sometimes we may wonder if we don't have the responsibility to make the whole world better, to make it beat to my drum. And the law says, no, it is not your responsibility, nor could you. You beat your drum, and the universe will respond to the drum that they are beating. The universe will respond to the drum that you are beating. There are as many different worlds being lived by as many different perceivers of the world as there are perceivers of the worlds. I wonder if that has to do with multiverses, as the scientist Feynman has talked to us about from time to time. I beat my drum, you beat your drum, and we won't interfere with each other's drums. When you say yes to something, you include something you do want in your experience. However, when you say no to something, you're also including something you don't want in your experience. And so that's another time to do the pivot. If you're feeling like you'd like to say no to something like, I hate it when my knees hurt. I don't want my knees to hurt. I'm including knees hurting because I've created that vibration. So I could pivot and say, I love it when my knees feel good. My knees are strong. And the universe will match that. Pivoting is pretty strong technique. When you see somebody living something awful, a homeless person, whatever, something awful, a rocket of desire for their resolution shoots out of you. And then if you start focusing on their resolution, whatever is in their best interest and highest good, you will start feeling better right away. And now you are part of the current that is part of their solution. I like that one. And meditating. I should do more meditating. I should actually stop saying should and just freaking do it. Anyway, during your days of meditation, daily meditation, your cellular relief will occur primarily during the first 15 minutes that you are relaxing and breathing. But it's eventually, because of your daily focusing on breathing and releasing of resistance, the law of attraction will sync you up with better and better feelings and thoughts. And so that's what I brought today to remind us that we do know how to do these things, and we just sometimes have to choose to do them. Any thoughts?
Thank you, Carol. That was a fabulous reminder. Would somebody like to share their feelings or impressions?
Do you
The
have a
the fir- the
favorite?
f- first one about appreciation just really socked me. I know it. I forgot it. Thank you for the reminder.
And my favorite is the pivot, because yes, I do have bad thoughts, but I immediately recognize that I've done that and I replace them with good thoughts, what I want to think instead, what I want to have in my life instead.
Hmm.
Do you have a favorite pivot?
Hmm. Anyone like to share and unmute yourself before you do that?
Yeah, I was just going to say about pivot. The important part is that you recognize that you need to pivot.
Yes.
You know, if there's no trigger to do that, then it's kind of difficult. But the more you pay attention to these triggers, the more you realize that you need to pivot. There are other things that I wanted to say about what Carol was saying. It's at the end coming back to resonance and frequencies, right? I mean, in a simple sense, our soul is a frequency. Obviously, it's an agglomeration of millions of frequencies. I mean, if you think about an orchestra, right, that plays an opera, you have 100 musicians, and you can hear when one of the instruments is not playing in tune. You can hear it out of the 100. Okay, out of your body, the thousands or millions of frequency. If one of your instrument inside your liver, your heart, uh, something is not working right, somebody else will be sensible to that, will hear it, quote quote. Okay, so it is to go back to our own sense of who we are. We need to remove all these frequencies that distort our original frequency, which is the frequency of our soul. So healing is actually removing something that allows the body to be, or the entity, the person to be who the person originally was. It's not giving it something to heal, it's to remove something that prevents it to be what it is.
And it's so important. We've heard of people who've had recovery from different illnesses or diseases, and maybe their doctor says, well, it's gone now, but it could come back. If you believe that, you're just giving the universe the energy to match it coming back. You don't want to do that. Don't accept that. Don't let those doctors tell you that.
Ananda.
I agree that mindset does give a direction to our life, but carried to its logical extreme, a 5-year-old that gets cancer had bad thoughts, and that's insane.
You're right. That doesn't make any sense at all. I can't make sense of it for you. But it does give us the opportunity to use our vibration to help make some change? Question mark?
Yeah, yes.
One time I was facilitating some work with, I have a friend who had a facility for people with addictions. And I was doing one of my speeches about positive feelings and everything having a good purpose. And this young man said, so what's the purpose of Jeffrey Dahmer? I said, inside I said, oh crap, I have no idea. And then I thought, but if everything has a purpose, maybe the purpose isn't for Jeffrey, maybe it's for us.
To run screaming from the woods? Or what? I mean, it's
perhaps to let him have peace so he didn't feel the negative feelings he was having. That could be one of those rockets where you get to share your wish for them, their best interest and highest good. So, and actually, you know what? Some time ago, forget who it was. It was one of those people who had a past life near-death experience. I can't think of his name now. But he said, we get to choose between lives what lessons we want to learn. Now, I would hate to think that Jeffrey chose that for his life lesson, but maybe he chose to be a partner with something in that life lesson. Oh my God, I can't imagine, but I don't know. I'm just throwing out ideas.
My spiritual journey's been like a yo-yo. I mean, sometimes I'm all in on spirituality and I believe in the woo-woo, and other times my yo-yo's all the way out as far as it can go, where it's like, nope, I don't even understand any of this stuff. And I mean, the law of attraction, when it first came out, I was in one of my, oh, I believe all this stuff. This is really great. These are great tools. And kind of now I'm at one of those points where my yo-yo's way out there and I'm just skeptical about everything. And, our thoughts influence our decisions, our emotions, and our actions. But we need decisions and actions in order for things to manifest in our life. I don't think manifestation comes instantly with twinkly fairy thoughts. And it helps be positive, I'm sure. It probably gives us an easier, more comfortable ride on this planet, but I don't necessarily believe your thoughts can manifest reality right now. There were times when I did, but at this moment, I'm skeptical.
Yeah, thoughts have no resonance. The resonance is actually coming from your heart.
Okay,
Heart.
so my heart's flaccid at the moment.
Uh,
But the law of attraction is correct. If you have two resonances that come very close, they add up. Okay. So the two frequency will just add up. So the amplitude grows. So this is how the attraction works. All right. But it does not come from your thoughts. It doesn't come from affirmations. It comes from the resonance that affirmation can create in your heart.
Okay.
All right.
And it's the power. That is the energy.
Yeah.
Because thoughts without power or energy are just thoughts. But if your thoughts have power and energy, they create a vibration. I think thoughts have vibrations too, but they're kind of low level. What do you think, Eric?
You could have thoughts for 2 years to try to manifest something, and it will not manifest. You have to. You see, some people do it consciously or learn to do it consciously. Some do it unconsciously and are very good at it. But most of the people think their way through and force the result, not by attraction, but by sheer work. You
I
can
got the
get there
best,
too.
I got the best job I ever had. It was after the Twin Towers had come down and I was out of work. Aerospace was dead. There were no offers coming to me from that area. And so I said, I'm going to try something different this time for job hunting. And I went through all the jobs I'd ever had and made specific note of the elements of those jobs that I loved having, loved being, loved seeing, loved being part of.
Well, that's effective.
And then I decided that I would just let the universe find my job. And I said, this is what I want. I want a job that I am good at, that I'm really good at, where people appreciate and respect me, where people respect and appreciate each other. And I make good money. And I didn't tell the universe what good money was, but the universe knows I like nice things. So that was okay. And I got this call from Solar Turbines in San Diego. And I was being interviewed by my first female manager. And after we talked and I told her all the things that I'd done in aerospace and manufacturing and other areas and different manufacturing methods and problems that I'd solved and how I like to work with people, she said, I would hire you right now, but you have to be interviewed by the team. So they brought me into San Diego, and the first thing I did was get a hotel remotely, and I got to that hotel and it was miserable. It was old. The paint was scratched and stained, and the light bulbs weren't working, and the toilet wasn't working. And I said, okay, I cannot go to an interview feeling bad about this place. And so even though I shouldn't have been able to afford it, I rented a very nice hotel on closer to work. And it had palm trees and ducks and a spa inside the hotel. In my room had a spa, and everything was beautiful and sparkling and clean. And I said, yes, this is what I love. And this is how and I started feeling really good. I could just feel that goodness all over me, replacing that ickiness that had been there before. And I went into that interview with all those good feelings. I was smiling and my head was up, my shoulders were back, and I was feeling confident. And I should have, because I had every reason to feel confident. And they hired me as a contractor. And they were people who respected each other and helped each other out, different departments cooperating instead of fighting with each other. There was one little thing, though, that I noticed was that the engineers generally feel like they were more godlike than the people on the manufacturing floor. And I knew that wasn't true because they're all people and they all deserve love and affection and appreciation. And so everything I did as the quality engineer, reviewing materials that weren't made to print or specs, was to get the engineers to listen to the people on the floor on how to fix the bloody problems, because they are the experts on fixing bloody problems.
Okay.
The experts on the techniques and the science behind why it works were the engineers. And so with all those good feelings and all those good intention and all my power and energy and passion, I was able to change the entire environment of that interaction. And within 2 months, they actually gave me a cake and thanked me for it. So yes, mindset can definitely make a difference. It affected everyone around me.
Arlene, you're muted.
I think she's looking.
I don't know. Now am I unmuted?
You're
Yeah,
fine
I got
now,
the right
hon.
button. How about that? I did
Yes.
it. I got the right button. So I'm giving myself some of those goodies y'all are talking about. And I want to talk about one of those things. You know, when I was a drug counselor, I had a whole lot of experience with people that were half or three quarters or better nuts, right? And they'd be in group. And you know that I am a music lover. You know that about me, I think. And I had this one guy, I would get a lot of people that were court ordered to go to treatment because they had some kind of a legal offense and they had to go to treatment or pay a gazillion dollars and go to jail or something. So I would get a lot of people in my group that were half or three quarters nuts. And I had a trumpet player that was probably closer to three quarters off the charts. And he ended up going and getting a job at Battleground High School directing music and kids. And I have always, for years, been so worried about those kids. And I brought this up in conversation yesterday with one of my kids who had been adopted by my brother and then went to Battleground High School, and my brother taught him how to play the saxophone, and he was a little music nerd, and now he's all grown up, and we were talking about music and stuff yesterday. And I said, what about this guy? And I could remember part of his name. And my kid remembered this guy. And he, you know what he told me? He goes, that guy was nuts. That guy was like way crazy. And I go, yeah, I'm glad you knew that about, well, what else could I know? You know, and he knew it. And this kid was like a street kid, but he was wise enough to get it that this guy was like nuts. And he told me now this guy is no longer alive and what happened to him and all of that. And so we talked about that for a while. And so talking about how nuts this guy was didn't make him more nuts. It made him have recognition for who he was, which was half or three quarters nuts. And the kids did not follow in his footsteps, or my kid didn't anyway. And that was something I've always worried about. You know, what do we do with the kids that are teaching kids and they just don't have the tools in their tool bag to do it? And I think that it's the tools in the tool bag that we got to look at instead of the people, you know? I don't know.
You're
Tell me
right,
if I'm
Arlene. We all have resources that we are born with, and we can use those resources as we need them, and we develop them from little tiny resources to magnificently wonderful resources as we grow?
Well, my kid, would he hopefully learn some of his resources, and he's my brother's adopted son, okay? And he had an appreciation for music, and he could play the saxophone, he could play that saxophone. And I love that about him. And and I get that feeling, and the part of recognition, but that he can recognize what he doesn't want and let go of it and recognize it as, this guy's nuts. I don't want that, and leave it,
Okay.
and to know how to recognize what's nuts and what isn't nuts. And hopefully I help to play a part in that, how to recognize nuts piece of that. And how do we recognize nuts when we're doing appreciation and pivoting and letting go of all that stuff? And you got to talk about, well, what is nuts and what do you do with it when you got to do something with it, and all of that. I think that's all part of the ball game, and I don't know what part that is. I haven't figured all that out yet. Well, how to do with what is nuts and how to let go of it, and how to teach our kids how to let go of it and not succumb to it, and
Well, it
all of
sounds
that.
like you're already teaching them.
I did a little of that,
Yeah,
but I don't
good.
know what I did then, something that worked. Like, I couldn't even remember this guy's name when I'm trying to remember this guy that went to work at the school. And I asked my kid about it, and he remembered his name and said, yeah, he was nuts. And so we did that, and so some of that worked, but I didn't tell this kid, this guy's nuts. I didn't have to do that, He was like, he learned the difference in making good music and recognizing what's really not making good music in the world, and what doesn't work. And some people die from that, like he
Well,
got that.
it sounds like that your young person appreciated the nuts guy's trumpet work, but didn't pay any attention to his nuttiness as far as appreciating the music.
I hope so. I hope he got that,
Sounds like he did when he was talking to you. Yeah.
No, thank you.
I heard a interesting little story. Well, not a story, just a kind of statement, is where a person asked a sculptor, how can they create this beautiful sculpture out of a block of stone? And the sculptor kind of looked back and said, I'm not creating the sculpture. I'm only taking away what's around it that doesn't need to be there. So it's a total different perspective in terms of creation. And I thought it was an interesting analogy. The other thing that I saw on Instagram just a couple of days ago, but I haven't tried, but a person claimed to make a to-do list on a day, for instance. And she puts two columns, where one she puts her name on the left column, and on the right column she puts spirit. And she said, everything under my column is the things that I can do, and everything under the column spirit is where I need help. And interestingly, she says, the help always comes. One way or another, the help comes and makes it happen. I haven't tried it, but I thought, hey, it's very interesting as an approach,
Yeah.
Anyone else have comments, thoughts, things you'd like to share? Cindy, good to see you again.
Oh, thank you. It's always wonderful to be here, whether I'm close to home or down here in California. I think this made me think about, well, of course, my experience in Christian fundamentalism for a long time. And one of the reasons I think it appealed to me, and maybe other people, was there's this, I guess it'd be a promise of control. If you ask in Jesus' name, it will be given you. So there's this in me, I think part of my disillusionment or just letting go of those fundamental beliefs was that that's not really possible. And to have that kind of control, that whatever you ask in Jesus' name, and then whatever you do you'll have this consequence. And so I have a little bit of like Kay, I have the skepticism that about control. And I think as humans, there's something about us. I don't know if it's our ego. I don't know enough about it, like all the inner workings of it, but I find that I'm very skeptical of the actual amount of control we have. And so it's a battle for me to drop into this belief of manifesting and the control we can have. And that's, again, partly because I came out of a system that promised you get this for that, this for that. And if you have positive thoughts, you'll get this. And, and I think there's something deeply, really true about it. And the other comment I had was during the meditation today, I found myself, having my hands open on my lap. I just something along the way learning like it feels receptive. And my hands are in my lap and I feel something, a little bit of weight dropping into my open hands. And so I'm thinking about what is that? What has been dropped into my hands? And then this sense of, or this visual, each hand was given an egg. There was an egg dropped into my hand. And it really, I feel like it matched what we're talking about today, and how for me, maybe there's something to incubate, or I need to take care of these little eggs, and something's going to hatch of, I don't know, a result, something growing and manifesting. It was just really precious. And then I thought, there's a little bit of me taking care of these eggs of positivity and letting it grow. So it's just enough. Being here is another. I just feel like things happen to me when I'm with you guys.
Well, I love the way you describe that. Yes.
Ananda.
Cindy, I think the problem with the way that, shall we say, strong Christians, they are misunderstanding the in Jesus name. It's not that you blurt out in Jesus name. It's that you take Jesus into your heart, and then it works. Then it works.
So you think, is that true to you? Is that true to you, Ananda?
Yeah, I think that when we act from a place of empathy and walking in the other person's shoes, all that sort of stuff, that widens and elevates the nature of our wishes so that they become more in line with spiritual benefit. If you say, God, give me a Chevrolet Camaro in Jesus' name, God's going to say, really? I'm not a GM stockholder, you know. It's
Well, it has been said that New Thought people are the most control freaks that there are.
yeah, right. It's a personality type, isn't it?
And I think that instinctually we do try to control. It's part of our survival mechanism.
But you see, this is also to your example, Carol, with your job in San Diego. You put out this request or this need for help, okay, and it came, but you were able to trust, have faith that it would come. You made it yours. You said, yes, this will happen to me, okay, and you create all the circumstances around it so it happens. But also you didn't stress and think about it every hour, every day, all the time, because this creates again a sense of lack, okay, an energy of, well, it's not here. So the universe says, yeah, it's not here. So it's going to keep giving you, it's not here. So that's an important aspect to it too. First is to trust that it really is yours, that it happens, and that you will get the help in whatever form it comes. It doesn't really matter. Trust in the intelligence of the universe, and then be able to walk away and let it happen.
And yes, and all those conditions were to create feelings that I wanted to have at that job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's powerful. This is where the resonance worked.
Yeah.
It wasn't a mental exercise. It was a heart resonance. It was a magnetic resonance.
Right. That was so much fun.
How
In fact,
do you
go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, how do you recognize, I guess is the right word, like what you want together with what's good for you so that you can manifest that? Like the joke about the car, it seems to me a little bit tricky. Maybe I'm making it too hard, but that, if I want bowls of chocolate ice cream, I don't want to manifest that. And I'm making a silly example, but if I want something like it in my early Christianity, in the Jesus people movement, of course, I wanted a godly husband we'd have a godly relationship and we would serve the Lord. And I didn't get that.
But you've manifested John in this phase of your life. So how do
Yes.
you manifest John back into your
Well,
world? And now you have this really cool relationship that you
yeah,
never
that's true.
expected.
Yeah,
Maybe it just took a while. Yeah, the egg took a
yes.
long while to crack.
It did.
Okay.
It came from
Yes.
that source, though.
Yes, it did.
Uh,
You have no idea things that you think maybe when you were 20, where you really wanted them, and maybe they appear now, you know?
well, I'm amazed at how my life is. I don't think I'm all that good or exercised or conscious what I'm doing, and yet I just go, wow, my
One
life's
thing, Cindy,
amazing. I
you
can't
carry
believe
good
in my mid.
feelings in your whole body. I see your good feelings in your face and how you stand and how you move and the choices you make. You are a good feeling attractor.
Cool.
Yep.
Come on in.
Oh, I got these men yelling in the background.
Got company.
Oh, and look at this. Look who came. Oh, look who I attracted.
Oh,
Oh.
Okay. Oh, hi.
And they know that.
Anyway.
Yeah. They know you're a good
Okay,
attractor.
anyway, I'm gonna have to go silent because I got John and his friend Doug and their dog's all noisy.
Okay.
Okay.
Good to see you again.
Thanks.
Oh, thanks, you guys.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, part of my thinking about the job was I don't care where it is. I don't care what kind of work it is, as long as it's my line of work, or even work that I've never done before, but is perfect for me. And then I just let it go, just see what happens. And I did
you
do
have
some,
any,
I did
maybe
do some
some palm trees in your visualization?
I did not have palm trees in my, no,
Okay.
no, not a single palm tree. But I did have some no's, and I wasn't sure how that was going to work. I got an offer for a job, a couple of jobs in Tornado Alley.
Hmm.
And I said, okay, guys, I don't want Tornado Alley. So I did create an I don't want, and it worked, and I'm not sure why, but I'm okay with that. So I guess sometimes we get to vote.
It's
Well, I
okay.
think when you say no to something, it if when you're doing it, it sounds like that way. It's a clarification of intent.
Yeah.
It's not like don't do this, where the mind might hear do this. But if you are handed something and you probably felt inside yourself it didn't feel aligned, and you went, this isn't, I need to clarify. Okay, we got the picture now.
Yeah, that feeling is not in alignment with the feeling I want to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good observation. Thank you.
Maybe another thing that I realized just recently is that I read is your body communicates with you all the time. Okay.
It does.
And it just tells you what's working and what's not working. And the question is how attentive are you to what the body is communicating? And so if it tells you that, I don't know, there's a disease or something that you pick up, it's not something that you have, is something that your body is communicating to you, so that you pay attention to that and remove the condition that lead to that. For instance, stress is a good example. Okay, many of the disease that people have, actually, some say that it's between 90 and 95% are stress related. Okay, if you recognize that, you can do something about it, but you need to do it consciously. But the body has communicated to you that something is off. And it will do that all the time. You can trust your body to tell you. But you need to take it as a partner, not as an enemy, you know?
Yeah, sometimes I get those messages, Eric, and sometimes I can figure out what to do, and sometimes I can't. And when I can't, I just send that feeling all the love energy I have.
Yeah.
And whenever it needed, it gets.
Yeah. But what I recognize for myself is that it was another perspective. Often we say, okay, I have a disease that is hurting me. It's not what it is. You turn it around and you say, my body is telling me something that I need to be attentive to.
So 2 years ago, I was diagnosed with essential tremor. How does that feel and fit in your feeling things, Carol? I'm not sure. But it is minor, and I've discovered that vitamin B1 activated with magnesium glycate reduces the tremor. And I've shared that with some people, so maybe sharing it was what the purpose was, to help others.
Yeah. So maybe you were just lacking exactly this combination, or maybe a more complex combination, but this one has a strong effect already. I mean, there are some guys who douse what you're lacking for minerals, right? and you need a supplement of this, a supplement of that, to keep your body, help to keep your body in balance.
And then
Okay.
there are monks who can live without eating, but their body somehow survives. I don't know about that one, but I've read about it.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
So we may be more powerful than we ever imagined or could imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you think about the things when people's eye color change as they move into different personality, or things come out on their skin or something, something's really powerful.
Yeah, I learned that in my psych class when I learned that people with multiple personalities could change not only eye color, but could be diabetic or not diabetic, which you think of not controllable, but evidently it can be. Well,
So
this
do
has
you
been a
have
wild discussion.
do you have something to wrap up, Carol? It feels like we've covered quite a few topics, and it was fascinating. I appreciate what you bring to us.
I'd like to add one more before Carol. Everything has a resonance. Okay. Also, an institution has a resonance, and they have an effect on you. A group of people has a resonance, and it has an effect on you. And it's often the resonance of the person who has the strongest frequency in this group that impacts the resonance of the group, because other ones start to resonate with that person. So be aware of what you feel when you get, I don't know, to Social Security. You go into a group in a church or in whatever situation, and you can recognize how the energy is in relation to yourself. Okay, how does it relate? Does it elevate you or does it not elevate you? Right?
And there are rooms that can do that, empty rooms that are
Yeah.
keeping the energy from something, and that can be a good feeling or a bad feeling.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I like to do when I just want to take a lovely, relaxing vacation from everything, and you can do this too, and I'll just describe it to you, and you can choose to do it anytime you want. I take myself to the most beautiful place I've ever been, the most calming and relaxing place I've ever been. And I just take my mind there, and my soul, my beingness, I take myself back to that time and place. And I notice the sights and sounds, the smells, the tastes, the colors, and bringing all those colors and tastes and feelings of calm peace in that place. And I take that entire bundle and place it somewhere in my body. And sometimes when I want a vacation from all that stuff that I don't want to be with right now, I can just say, okay, I'm traveling back to my safe place. And you can do that.
Lovely practice. Thank you so much, Carol. And thank you, everyone, for your contributions today. Lots of good thoughts to meditate on this week and manifest. Okay, so let's have our closing song for the day. Your prayer is my prayer, too. And so at this time, let's close our circle with namaste to each of you. Namaste. And we are grateful for this beautiful community of love and support and friendship. And it is totally supported by our gifts and God's love. And if you have a contribution you'd like to make, we have a website and a post office box, which will be sent out to each community member after the service. And so we thank you all for your support, and we say, and so it is.